What's good, YouTube? Get your Analysis Playground t-shirts on my Facebook page. Message me. You can get any color shirt, any color logo that you want. All you're doing is customizing the logo on a shirt, whether you want it black or white, red and white, or even just a black and red like this t-shirt. But you can also change the color of the shirt. And let me know if you want one. Message me on Facebook and I can get one sent out to you. Bye. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, coming to y'all with another video. Obviously, here go another design of my t-shirt if you're interested in buying them. Thanks for the support. But I also want to talk about Reggie Jackson. They made a trade to get Blake Griffin. They already had an all-star last year in Andre Drummond. Reggie Jackson has been that missing link. Obviously, they need more three-point shooting. Obviously, they need more ball handlers. But Blake Griffin is a guy that you can run your offense through. Is Blake Griffin the same? No. Is he as athletic? No. But the guy still can give you 28 and 5 on a daily basis. And that's something that you need when you're the Detroit Pistons. They really lack a go-to guy, especially when Reggie Jackson continually go down. But I focused on Blake, a video before people liked it that, and I wanted to focus on one of my players that I actually went to war with a lot, which is Reggie Jackson, because once he got traded from OKC, he was able to hit big shots in OKC, help Kevin Durant get out of the first round. He took over some fourth quarters. He brought a lot of energy, he just had a different type of play style. He was smooth, he was cool, he did what he wanted to do, he got where he wanted to be, but he also was a facilitator. Was he the best? Was he the most accurate? No, but his ability to handle the ball and break down the defense and get to the paint opened up so much opportunities for a lot of his teammates. And we seen that when he first got to Detroit, he started giving you double-doubles, and he was giving you all these different type of numbers that you couldn't really gauge because they didn't play a whole season. Remember, when he got traded in 14-15 season, he only played 27 games. Even though he did start, he had a solid season, and they almost made the playoffs when they traded for him because he made that much of an improvement to the team. He put up 17 points that year, 43% from the field, 33 from three, 4.7 rebounds, 9.2 assists. Like I said, he came in giving you double-doubles, and on top of that, he averaged 3.5 turnovers, but I just told you guys he wasn't the most accurate passer, but he is a solid playmaker. The problem after the 15-16 season, when he actually started that contract extension, he played 79 games. He still gave you the 43% from the field. He improved his three-point percentage to about average. Gave you 86 from the free throw line with 4.3 attempts a game. Still gave you 6.2 assists. Cut his turnover from 3.5 to 2.8. And this is in 79 games played, 79 games started, and 30 minutes a game. That is solid. It is not like they paid. People made it seem like Reggie Jackson was getting paid 25, 30 million. His contract wasn't that bad. And you have to consider that they based off what he did already for the Pistons, what he did with the Thunder, and how the team was projected to go. They thought Reggie Jackson could be that piece that can get them to the playoffs. And this is what a lot of people don't realize. He did that in his first regular season that he played those 79 games. They got to the playoffs and got beat by the Cavaliers, which was one of the best teams in the East, and they had LeBron James. So that was unfortunate, but Reggie Jackson proved that he can help a team make it to the playoffs when he was in OKC, but he did it when they needed him even more to have a more important and a more major role. He was still able to help the Pistons to the playoffs. And the thing that everybody always criticized, Blake wasn't the same, Blake did this, Andre Drummond not good enough. People don't realize every time Reggie Jackson got injured, the Detroit Pistons had no answer after that. They was not deep, and they still not deep to this day. Every team they had with Stan Van Gundy, to me personally, wasn't a deep 8, 9, 10-man roster. And that's why I always thought they wasn't going to win in the playoffs because they was very, very top-heavy. Reggie, Andre Drummond, that's it. Now they add Blake Griffin. He is a good player. He's not a superstar anymore, but he still is an all-star caliber player, and so is Andre Drummond. But they just didn't have enough ball movement. They just didn't have enough attacking. They just didn't have enough scoring. And then you seen for these last couple seasons that Reggie Jackson missed significant games. In 16-17, he played 52 games. And 17-18, he only played 45. So if you brought that up to me today, I do look kind of crazy because I was telling people Reggie Jackson can play. Reggie Jackson is a starter. Reggie Jackson deserved the money that he was getting paid. And he proved that in his first season. 18.7 assists. as a starter, and y'all make it to the playoffs and have a competitive series. It wasn't a win. They didn't go far in the series, but all the games was close. And they still had young pieces that still needed to develop, like Singler, like Stanley Johnson. They still have young pieces to this day that they just drafted these last couple drafts and they haven't panned out. So they need a guy that can be that third option. And Reggie Jackson was damn near their first option because he was their leading scorer. And, they had Tobias Harris, but he didn't last that long. He ended up getting traded out of there. And now they have Blake Griffin, who is their best player on the team, their most well-rounded player too. But it's a lot easier when you have a guy like Reggie Jackson that can close games. Even last year and the year before, he closed games for them before he had those major ankle injury last year. And every time he goes down, the team cannot replace his talent, and you can blame that on them for overpaying for Andre Drummond and paying Blake Griffin $32 million a year. They don't have as much wiggle room, which means they need Reggie Jackson even more because they only is top heavy. So if one of them go down, they don't have a replacement for Blake Griffin, keeping it real. They don't even have a replacement for Andre Drummond. So all three of them have to stay healthy for this team to even consider making the playoffs. Even though they had one of the best coaches to me in Stan Van Gundy, it wasn't enough because they didn't have enough talent to compete on a daily basis with major injuries to their main stars. And Dwayne Casey coming here, a guy that knows offense just as good as Stan Van Gundy, has abilities to change his team better defensively than Stan Van Gundy probably, but he's still going to need players to step up for them to even consider making the playoffs. Yes, they do have two All-Stars because Andre Drummond All-Star, Blake Griffin is an All-Star caliber player, and he basically put up All-Star numbers last year, but he got traded during the trade deadline, so those numbers didn't really matter. Plus, his team didn't make the playoffs anyway, which was Detroit. But if you look at this roster, they need Heron Ellison to develop. They still need Stanley Johnson to develop. Luke Kennard still has to develop a lot. Even guys like Kyrie Thompson, he's not going to be able to play meaningful minutes because he's not ready. They in a basically bipolar type of situation where they paid their three best guys, and their three best guys is not going to lead you to a championship. Andre Drummond is not going to be a championship center. Neither is Blake Griffin. You're not going to win a championship with Blake Griffin being your best player at this point after the injuries. Now, if you would have told me his first or second season, I could have seen it. But even then, Chris Paul, to me, was better than Blake Griffin. And he helped them turn around from a lottery team to a perennial playoff team ever since he was on that roster. So I think, I'm not saying Reggie Jackson is on Chris Paul level, but when you look at the dynamic of him being a good pick and roll player, him being a shot maker and a shot creator, a playmaker, a guy that can create his own shots for himself and others, plus giving them another scorer in general. Stanley Johnson cannot create a shot consistently. Neither can Luke Kennard, and basically neither can Reggie Bullock. Any person on this roster besides Blake Griffin cannot create a shot consistently. That shows you the importance of Reggie Jackson. And when Stan Van Gundy made that trade, he knew what Reggie Jackson could bring to the table, and there was really no other good point guard that they could, put into that situation for the type of price, because they had him on a rookie contract when they traded for him, and then they had the cap space to basically give him about what he wanted, better than what OKC was going to give him, and it was going to let him start. So they really wanted Reggie Jackson, just in that sense, to be a focal point of their team, and he has become that. It just, his injuries has really hurted this team. And when I seen him get that extension, I believe that he can do it. I believe that he can be a starting player on a good team, and he proved that. But these last two seasons, him getting injured has really destroyed them making the playoffs. Like, if Reggie Jackson would have played at least 65 games, they would have been a playoff lock. To me, he is going to improve you 5 to 6 wins, and he proved that his first two seasons with Detroit. Even though one was over less than half a season, they still came close. Even when he came back this year, they was in the running, but they just couldn't get it together enough to close out that season with a playoff spot, even if it would have been the 7th or the 8th seed. So it shows you how much Stan Van Gundy thought of him to make the trade, to give up assets, and also give him that 4-year deal that he could offer and still pay him the amount of salary that he got paid. He believed that Reggie Jackson could be a starting point guard. He believed that he could help them make the playoffs, and he did it. He just could not stay healthy, and that really hurted this Pistons team. And the only reason I'm making this video is because even though I am on Reggie Jackson's side, to me, this is a make it or break it season for Reggie Jackson. If he cannot stay healthy, I do not see in another team realistically with the draft and summer league and free agency. I do not see another team making Reggie Jackson a starting point guard in this league. I just don't see it. He has the talent to do it. He showed that he can be. But after these major injuries, these are injuries that sideline him for months, and he's getting paid a lot of money on top of that. And his team really needs him, and he hasn't been there for even 60 games in the last 2 seasons. I know that injuries are freakish, and sometimes you can't. Most of the time, you can't control it. But this is really going to hurt him because he's only getting up in age. He's not getting any healthier. He hasn't really got even any better because he's been recovering so much from injuries. And you got to put on top of that, going into next season, he's going to be an 8-year vet, but he's going to be 29 years old because his birthday is April 16, 1990. So at the end of the day, this is going to really make or break him with Detroit. They might give him one more run next year. Then after that, I really don't see one team that he can legitimately go to and be a starter and be a major contributor, especially with him damaging his career these last 2 seasons, not being able to stay healthy, not being able to improve because of injuries in rehab that kept him out of growing as a player, developing as a player because of these injuries. And that's going to hurt him getting a starting spot, and that's going to hurt him getting a major role on the team. Now, I can still see him being a 6 or a 7 man off a roster, giving you 10 points off the bench, kind of like Isaiah Thomas, even though Isaiah Thomas is probably a better prolific scorer than a guy like Reggie Jackson. But I can see Reggie Jackson being a $3 to $4 to $5 million player coming off the bench, still giving you buckets, giving you 2 to 3 assists a game, and being instant offense, especially against bench level competition. But I wanted to make this video to get to understand what you guys think. Do you think Reggie Jackson's career is over? Do you think he can have a breakout season this year? Or do you think he's going to have another season where he gets injured because they need him to do too much? Or do you think that him and Blake Griffin can balance out the offense and the ball handling duty, and then they can figure it out with a good coach like Dwayne Casey that's been in the playoffs the last couple of years and been able to take a team with Kyle Lowry, DeRozan to continue to develop, continue to get better, but also become the #1 team in the East? Do you think that coaching edge and that great coach in Dwayne Casey can really take this team to a next level? Or do you think that Reggie Jackson was overrated from the beginning and he should never got the extension, he should never been a starter? Or do you think that, hey, Reggie Jackson still got a lot left in the tank? If he has a good season, Detroit will probably keep him next year and give him another extension? Or do you think that, hey, we giving up on Reggie Jackson, he's done, he can't stay healthy, he hasn't been able to even be an all-star caliber player yearly, and, I don't believe in him no more? So let me know what you guys think about Reggie Jackson. Check out my Facebook page, Analysis Playground. You can get any color T-shirt. You can change the color of this T-shirt. You may want this logo in gold. You may want it in brown. Let me know if you want a T-shirt on my Facebook page. I have a link to my Facebook and my website in the description and in the comment section below. Click the link and send you to my website. Click the link and send you to my Facebook page. Thanks for the support. Thanks for buying the T-shirts. And also, thanks for continuing to subscribe and watch. I work hard in my videos. I go to events. And I consistently keep trying to give y'all great content throughout the year as much as possible. I try not to miss a day. And even when I do, I really be hurt by it because I love making videos. But thank you guys for the continued support. And let me know what you guys think the future of Reggie Jackson. Will he be back to the bench, or will he be able to start for the next couple years until he's out of his prime? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.